Well, the nominations are in for the Academy Awards. Kevin Frazier joins us from Entertainment Tonight with more on all things Oscars. Kevin, great to see you.
Thanks for having me. It is a great day here in Hollywood.
I bet. 13 nominations for The Shape of Water. Is that something that was predicted?
You know, a lot of folks predicted that they would get 14 nominations. This is a beautifully crafted movie by Guillermo del Toro, who also got nominated for Best Director. It's a fantasy story about a woman who is mute and her relationship with a merman. So once you suspend reality and get into it, you will love this movie, and it is also beautifully shot.
What are some of the other movies that made it into the Best Picture category?
Well, when you look at Best Picture, I think that the movies you got to talk about that I think have a chance is Three Billboards, which is a great virtuoso performance by Frances McDormand that I think could walk away with the Oscar at the end of the night. And also, you know, a lot of people love Dunkirk, and Dunkirk also received 8 nominations on the night. That's another big movie. Christopher Nolan did a great job with that.
Well, you mentioned Frances. Let's talk about her movie and also the Best Female Actress nominations. This is some stiff competition in this category.
Yeah, there are great performances in this category, but I will tell you this. Frances McDormand will win. She has been the leader throughout award season, but I am surprised that Meryl Streep is not getting more love for her performance as Katharine Graham, who owned the Washington Post in the movie The Post. She is great, and in this year of female empowerment, I thought that a story about a strong woman and the decisions she made that changed history would get a little more love.
You know, you mentioned female empowerment. Me Too, that movement was front and center at the Golden Globes. Do you think we'll see that again at the Oscars?
Well, we've already seen how it's affecting the Oscar race because James Franco, who won the Golden Globe for Best Actor, was not nominated for the Oscars. And I think that is indirect because of the times and the Me Too movement. Of course, Franco was accused of by 5 women of sexual misconduct. And, you know, if this had been a year ago, I don't think Casey Affleck would have won for Manchester by the Sea because of the allegations that he was dealing with at the time. So you already see that affecting the race for Best Actor. And then also this year, for the first time ever, a woman has been nominated for Best Cinematography, and that is Rachel Morrison from Mudbound. That's a groundbreaking moment. We also see Greta Gerwig being nominated for for directing Lady Bird. I'm surprised that Patty Jenkins didn't get into the mix, but still, we are seeing the change that the Me Too movement is having on Hollywood.
Now, you and I were chatting earlier. You think there's a front runner when it comes to Best Actor?
Oh, Gary Oldman is going to win Best Actor. His transformation into Winston Churchill in Darkest Hour is something to behold. But I will tell you this: while there are other great performances, and I think that if you couldn't walk down the street without seeing Daniel Kaluuya's face all plastered all over the place after he was in Get Out. You know, Denzel Washington always is great, but I really thought that Timothée Chalamet was really good in Call Me by Call Me by My Name. He just surprised me. You know, he was in 3 movies that were nominated at the Golden Globes, and here's a kid who has a bright future. But I do think that everyone should see that movie because you will be really taken by this new young talent.
You know what I was really surprised by, though? Some of the big-name stars that didn't receive a nomination. So Michelle Williams, Angelina Jolie, Tom Hanks, Steven Spielberg.
Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg, who were both associated with The Post. Tom Hanks played Ben Bradley. Spielberg directed. I was surprised that, you know, but maybe he was the casualty for Natalie Portman calling out the Golden Globe folks for having all-male Best Director nominees. And so maybe Steven Spielberg was the guy who got pulled out. You mentioned Michelle Williams, All the Money in the World. She was so good in that movie, and that's another surprise. I'm surprised that Mudbound didn't get in for Best Picture. The critics love that movie. It was Netflix's first chance to be nominated in that category, and so they miss out, even though Mary J. Blige is a double nominee. Angelina Jolie, her movie, you know, First They Killed My Father, was a passion project. Everybody figured that was a lock for Best Foreign Film, Best Foreign Language Film, and that didn't get in there. There were a lot of people that missed out, James Franco being the biggest snub, though.
Talking about missing out, is there someone backstage that will be removed this year? The debacle of last year in the envelope? Is that gentleman invited back? Are there some changes?
So, PwC, the folks who handle the envelopes, they will be there, but there have been a lot of changes instituted. And number one, they have each and every one of those people who handles the envelopes has to know the name and the winner in each and every category. They have to memorize it so that if there is a mistake, they can get out there and change things. Also, there will be no pictures backstage or tweeting. If you remember, a guy named Brian Cullinan was back there taking a picture, a now famous picture of Emma Stone, when he handed the wrong envelope to Warren Beatty, and well, the rest is history from there. So no more pictures, no more tweeting. They will be on point, and they will also double check each and every time they hand off an envelope to one of the presenters. So I don't expect there to be any mistakes, just a lot of surprises this year.
Yeah, I'm telling you what, we all love a dramatic finish, but that was not what we were going for last year.
It caused, you don't understand, it caused mayhem in Hollywood because everybody ran out and just said, oh, La La Land has won. It's over. La La Land has won. It's over.
So with you being over there, do you have any scoop? Is there any rumblings of like a dark horse or an upset that's going to kick off in any of these categories?
Here's what I will tell you, and I think that there are so many movies that people haven't seen that it won't be surprising to the public. I mean, look, let's be honest. You haven't seen all these movies. I'm one of the few people who have. So I don't think that there will be surprises in as much that we will miss a lot of big names, and hopefully they'll bring them in this year as presenters. But I don't see a big dark horse that's going to come out of nowhere and shock the world on Oscar night.
All right, well, we'll find out Sunday, March 4th. It's always so great to hear from you. Thanks for all the scoop, Kev.
Thanks for having me.